Hi there. No, no.
Yeah.
Yes. Hi there. My name is Beth Green, otherwise known as Granny Rocks, and I would like to talk to you tonight about the truth hurts. No, the truth does not hurt, so let's stop resisting it. I can't wait to get into this topic. It's a direct connection from our show what is today? Wednesday, Monday, and I'm really looking forward to talking to you about that tonight. But before I do, I'd like to introduce you to Sweet Baby James. Did I tell you
Yes.
that I was Beth Green, otherwise known as Granny Rocks?
Now
Well,
you
I
have.
am.
Now you
Because I'm
have.
so excited to get into the topic
Yes,
of the evening.
indeed.
So Sweet Baby James is going to introduce our show.
Yes, Sweet Baby James, otherwise known as James Maynard. And tonight's show is yet another episode of As the Granny Turns. She is going to shock us once again. Our show is called Granny Rocks Our World, and otherwise known as Grow, and she usually does.
Right.
With her wit, her wisdom, and her uncommon sense.
Not
So now,
shock, just rock.
just rock.
Right.
Rockets, baby, rockets.
Okay, so, oh, and there's Jamie. Hello,
Hello.
Beth and James. Mwah. Hello, Jamie. So glad to see you. You survived. Okay, so, last time I talked about how we are pretty much all stuck in cultish thinking, and we don't even know it. And Luann says, hi from LNL. Hello, LNL. And Elizabeth said hello. She's one of the L's in the LNL.
Otherwise known as Lizzie.
Right.
Thereby making the other L.
Yes.
Okay.
So what I mean by cultish thinking, oh, Helen is here too. Oh, goody. Great people that I love are here supporting us to go forward. So what I said was that cultish thinking is like a cult is a system of thought from which it's very difficult to break out because, you know, all our friends are in it or all our peers. We think it's the truth. We don't have any other input and so on. And we are all sort of stuck in cultish thought. So I went into that in detail on Monday. Richard said, good evening,
Hi,
Beth
Richard.
and James, and good evening to you, Richard. So, and it was very interesting that this morning, James, out of the blue, said something like, yes, but the truth hurts. Because I said, well, if you're in a cult, you don't ever get to look at the truth because all you do is you look at everything from the perspective that you've already been taught. And therefore, you don't even see what you're not seeing because you're stuck in a certain way of thinking. And he said, yeah, but the truth hurts. And I thought, no, the truth doesn't hurt. So I felt inspired to talk about this. This is a really important topic. And Todd said, hi, Beth and James, and hi, Todd.
Hello,
And
Todd.
smile back to you. So I want to give you an example around Donald Trump. If Donald Trump suggests anything, if you are in the Democratic Party cult, you immediately assume that everything that he does is wrong, venal, corrupt, stupid, whatever. Well, it's different from what you did, and therefore it must be bad, right? And you don't even look at it. You know, it's already, oh yeah, and everybody's up in arms and all that. Now, if you're on the Republican cult or the Trump supporter cult, if Trump comes up with something and people disagree with it, well, it's a conspiracy. They're trying to get him out of office. They're wrong.
It's a witch hunt.
It's a witch hunt.
Fake news.
Fake news. So, do you get it? I am not kidding. It is hard to stomach. I can't look at this news station. I can't look at that one because I can feel the bias. It's like, is anybody saying, well, should we be in Syria? How long should he be in Syria? What is the relationship with it? I'm not saying that I approve of what Donald Trump did. I don't approve. I don't disapprove. I don't know anything. I'm willing to admit, well, I'm not sure. I don't have all the facts, do I? But I know that it was a terrible thing because the people who hate him can say that he did yet another terrible thing, and it very well may be. But you see, part of the cult thinking is, you get into your group. Todd says, feel the bias. Exactly. We feel the bias. And it's kind of distressing because you don't even feel like you can trust anything that anybody is saying about anything.
Unless it agrees with your bias.
But even then, even when it agrees with my bias, I'm beginning to feel sort of sick inside because I can't stand it, because as Todd said, you can feel the bias, right? So one of the interesting things about this, in this particular case with the Democrats and the Republicans, is that you would think that the Democrats had everything like nailed down. We did not have income inequality before Trump. Oh no, we did not have racism. We did not have the police shooting black people. We did not have lead in the water. We didn't have any of those things before Trump, right? So, and it's demonization on both sides. I'm not saying that the Democrats are bad and that Trump is good. I'm saying that, as Todd said, you can feel the bias. We all live in a cult where we have a closed system of thought and we are not getting information. But it isn't just in politics. It is much bigger than that. It is religions, for example. Religions that teach that God is perfect. And this is just to kind of summarize what we talked about on Monday. There are religions that teach that God is perfect. So if something goes wrong, there's something wrong with you, kid. You did something bad. You're a bad girl, bad boy. Nobody says, well, gee, I wonder if God is perfect, right? That's too far outside the box. Social clubs that enforce conformity to certain behaviors are rampant. I mean, including hazing. I mean, people, supposedly smart kids, go into sororities and fraternities and they do these god-awful hazing things to each other because that's the culture. And you can't say, this is stupid. In fact, why am I even in this group, right? You say, well, if you do that, see, you're going to lose the support of your peers, so you don't want to do that. Okay, so I'm just giving, that general background. So if we say the reason that I am poor is X, because if I am in the X group, we've all rationalized our behavior. We've all rationalized it. Or the reason that I'm entitled to more is Y, because our group has rationalized that behavior. So it is, it is very, very difficult to break out. Or the reason I can't trust him is because he's a man, and you know the way men are. or the reason I shouldn't listen to her is she's a woman, and you know how women are, that she must be on her period. So as a result of this, we don't get to the bottom of things, and we close our minds, and we don't want to know the truth, as though it was so easy to even figure out the truth if you are looking for it. So we are so biased, we are so prejudiced, we are so geared to thinking a certain way, and we can't break out because we don't even know there's another reality, or because we have too much to lose. Amy said, interestingly, I heard a British reporter yesterday who has followed the war in Syria since its onset said that the reaction of people living in Syria to American troops leaving were both positive and negative, not just negative. Yes, and who knows what cult they belong to. Those who are positive have some self-interest, some that are negative have some self-interest. I'm really glad that you added that, Amy. So at the end of last show, on Monday, I asked you guys to think about what cults you belong to, if you can even see that. And I'd love you to share that, if you would like, on the show tonight. But in the meantime, before you share, especially if you're not sharing, I want to get to the truth does not hurt. Because in order for us to break out of our cults, we have to be willing to tell the truth and see the truth and hear the truth. Now, I may not want to know the truth because it's going to get me in trouble with my parents, with my social group, my gender, uh, straight people, gay people, trans people. It may, if there's, yeah, there's even, I'm sure, a heroin cult, where there's like some kind of understanding. It's like, okay, we know it. And so I may not want that. But see, what hurts there is not the truth. What hurts is having to face the sense of loss of belonging that you feel when you have faced the truth. See? So it is not the truth that hurts. It's the result of knowing the truth or the reality. So I want to talk a lot about tonight about how reality hurts, but not the truth. Because I want everyone, including myself, to become increasingly willing to learn, to open our mind to the truth, to recognize the many perspectives, and to become objective, which I talked about recently. Todd said, the cult of men are more powerful, and so you should align with them. Exactly, Todd. You don't want to go outside that cult. You want to be very condescending towards women. You know how women are. You know how women are. Whatever that is. Tracy says, I'm sure I belong to multiple cults. One specifically I thought about was the cult of being loyal to the family. Oh, exactly. And it isn't just the family. It is the opinions of the family, the perspective of the family, the way the family wants you to think, that you can't even let yourself think outside that box.
The family culture.
Well said. Okay, now I want to go back to the question of, does the truth hurt? No. Let's say I discover that my husband is having an affair. Oh no! I've now discovered my husband's having an affair. James, how dare you? So now you can say, oh, the truth hurts. No, the reality of a stinking marriage hurts. Maybe the reality of him having an affair hurts, but it's probably what's wrong with the marriage that hurts. And discovering that he's having an affair opens the door for us to discuss together, well, what are we going to do about our marriage? Why does our marriage suck? Or why do you feel it does? Or what's going on? Maybe this is the only way that my husband feels like he can even express the fact that he's unhappy, because he's living in a marriage where we have a cult of understanding that we're both supposed to suppress what we're really feeling. That could happen. So it isn't it's the reality that hurts. By learning the truth, we can start taking action. We can do something to adjust or change. Now, supposing I find out I have cancer, does that truth hurt? Of course not. Cancer hurts. Not acknowledging that I have it. I don't mean that in the moment I might not have a reaction of fear, but it's because it's cancer, not because it's the truth. It's like, oh my God, what's going to happen, right? And what it does is it gives me an opportunity to mobilize my resources to fight that cancer, or to prepare my estate if I'm going to die, or to prepare myself emotionally. You see what I'm saying? Let's say I'm declining in cognition, meaning that I'm losing some of my variables up here. Do I want to face that? Does that truth hurt? Well, it may be embarrassing. It may be scary, but one more time, it's the declining cognition that hurts, not the acknowledgement of the declining cognition. I could say, oh, I'm declining from today to next year, but if I'm not declining, that is not a problem. It's really only if it's true that it really hurts. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if I recognize that my cognition is declining, I actually can do something about it, because nowadays there are programs that help people reverse cognitive decline, or prevent it, or stop it in its tracks. So I'm so grateful for that. So I'd like us all to say, I want us all to say, I want the truth.
I want the truth.
It does not hurt.
It does not hurt.
If you're being an asshole and I tell you that, what hurts?
Being an asshole.
That's right. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, So I want to know, which means that I have to stop acting like I already know the truth. And I have to stop acting like the truth is the cause of the pain. I want to be free to think. I'm tired of assuming Trump is wrong in all things because I belong to the anti-Trump cult. But I want to also look at what he's saying and have an opinion and to the best of my ability get the facts. And there's a lot of things that I can't even get the facts, or I don't have the background to understand the facts, or I don't have the wisdom, or I don't have the resources to find out what the facts are. But now let's say you're in the, I am not in the pro-Trump cult, but let's say you are in the pro-Trump cult. Well, so, and he says that climate change is a hoax. Well, look at the facts if you want to, and you can see he's wrong. You can say, oh no, look at all these facts. These are not facts that you're learning. I mean, you can always find somebody who is going to belong to the cult, who is going to support the cult. We can always find 1,000 articles on the internet which are full of lack of truth in order to back up something. But if you honestly want to know the truth, you can find out, and then you can do something. You can make a choice. You can still support Trump, but you can say he's wrong about this. Amy says, with the truth, there is freedom to open a discussion and act instead of simmering resentment. And I would add fear to that. So that's a very good point, Amy. So, of course, we can't know or learn about everything, as I've already said. It's not easy to learn the truth, even when we want to. But to deliberately delude ourselves in order to fit in, or because we don't want to know, or because it's going to be inconvenient, undermines our integrity as human beings, and it leads to more lies to justify the lies we already told ourselves. Right? Oh yeah, I told myself a lie yesterday because I wanted to believe something. And now I have to keep on lying because I don't want to know that I lied yesterday. Amy says, I was adding fear in my edit just as you were reading it. Very good. So we have to break out of the cult in order to think. I am not comfortable being there. I don't feel like I have integrity, and I don't really believe the shit I'm saying. And I wonder if you do. Do you always believe everything that you claim to believe? Or are there little nagging doubts because you know darn well that you haven't really done the research, or that you just only want to hear one side of things and you don't want to get the whole picture? Don't you know that? I do. So breaking out of the cult allows me to breathe. And it even allows me to say, I really don't know. So many vested interests are going to feed us the facts the way they want us to see it. Why do some Republicans, they've gone along with Trump with everything, but they're all upset about Syria? Or they've gone along with him on this, but they don't go along with him on that. It's the same kind of thing. You have to look with a fine-tooth comb at everything that everybody does. Now, is that overwhelming? In a way it is, but not if you've got the I don't know card. I don't know. So breaking out of the cult allows me to have fewer opinions and opens up the door to more knowledge. So we only had like one person who actually talked about what cult she belonged to, but that's fine because I really wanted to talk about this too tonight. I still want you to think about it. In fact, hopefully it'll be even
Todd
clearer.
talked about his too, the cult of men who are more powerful.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. There were two.
And I have been a card-carrying member of that one as well.
Yes, and that women's everything that's wrong with us is caused by men. Amy said, I find that seeing things in just black or white can feel really awful. I have to keep staying put in one or the other. Exactly, Amy. And I feel suppressed either way. So true. We are suppressing ourselves. We're suppressing our natural intelligence. It's a shame that we're wasting our good brain cells. So what I'd like to say on the topic of the truth does not hurt, so let's stop resisting it, is reality may be hard, and painful and difficult to face. Whether it's overpopulation or climate change or the way that we produce things. I keep seeing more things about Amazon. Oh my God, we're going to have to stop using Amazon. And we live out in the boondocks, and this is the place where, that was the easiest way for us to get things. And people are dropping dead on the warehouse floor. I was like, I don't want to hear that. Oh no, I don't want to hear that, right? Amy said, I belong to the cult that men are idiots for not empowering women. There you go. I like that. I happen to agree with that. No, anyway, we need to empower ourselves too. I would say that men are idiots for not empowering themselves.
Everybody needs to be empowered.
That's right. I had an aphorism once that I got. Then I wrote, I have a book called God's Little Aphorisms, and it said, nobody has too much power. We all have too little power. The people who strut around acting like, inside them, they don't feel powerful, or they wouldn't be a bunch of roosters. So, reality may be hard, it may be painful, but the truth is merely the statement of that reality. And it's complex, because reality is complex. And the statement is not hard or easy. The statement of truth just is. So, is the truth hard? No. The truth is only hard when we resist knowing it. So, come back. Amy said, I guess that's true that both men and women need to empower themselves. Absolutely. Men are not empowered in a society that exploits them, causes them stress, and makes them feel like they have to suppress their real feelings and have to behave in a certain way. That's not empowering to anyone. So tomorrow night is Thursday. That's Dreams of Peace night, and we will be live streaming at 7 p.m. Pacific time, or you can watch us anytime thereafter, and I will be playing the piano, Dreams of Peace. And we'll be back next Monday for another round of Granny Rocks Our World. And who knows? And I love your responses. I love how interactive our audience is. I want to remind you that we have many, many offerings here. I mean, too many. Go to my website, bethgreen.org. I am an intuitive counselor. You can get counseling from me. And if you think the truth hurts, then don't come. Because our job is to try to get to the truth of your life. And Helen said, another great show.
Thank you, Helen.
Another great viewer is Helen. And I'm so pleased to have brought this to you today. And we also have a free discussion group every Saturday, which is led by Richard and another woman, Richard, who is on today. And all the information about that. And we also have, is on our post, and we also have a program called Growth, which is a discussion group where we talk about how these things apply to us. And we always get into much deeper areas. It's a great program.
Every Wednesday night, right after this show.
At
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. So many things. We are having a retreat in Oregon. We're having a relationship retreat in November, and there's more coming. A men's workshop. We just have all kinds of great things, free and not free. So something for everybody. Whatever your means, you can always get some support from us. So yes. Until I see you again, I send my love to you.
Yes. Same at you. Back at you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye for now.